Public Diary, Chapter 2. April 24th, 2021. 9:18 a.m. I just finished recording my first chapter of Public Diary. I'm actually fairly pleased with how well it turned out, and the deliberate vocal exercises I Googled beforehand paid off. I sounded somewhat professional. I like it when I make myself happy. 10:51 a.m. Poor Murphy was neglected this morning because of how distracted I was with my project. When I finally did get around to walking him, he pooped in the front yard of a house where the owner was outside on the porch. He looked displeased but didn't say anything. 12:01 p.m. Last night, I stayed up late, drinking beer, smoking pot, and eating pizza while watching a Nicolas Cage movie where he fights possessed animatronic robots at a theme park. It was a magnificent evening. Today, however, I feel like I stayed up late, drinking beer, smoking pot, eating pizza, and watching Nicolas Cage movies, which is decidedly less magnificent the next day. 1:48 p.m. I follow too many beautiful people on Instagram. It makes me feel insecure and unconfident. I've been toying with the idea of only following people I deem less attractive than me so it helps my ego. 6:29 p.m. Whenever I see a homeless person, it makes me feel sad that they are homeless and I am not. Whenever I see a rich person, it also makes me feel sad that they are rich and I am not. I don't know what this says about me. It probably isn't good. 8:29 p.m. I just matched with a beautiful redhead on Tinder. In her profile picture, she was clearly not wearing a bra, and my opening line was, "What a coincidence. I don't wear bras either." She unmatched with me immediately. Evidently commenting on perky nipples doesn't work. April 25th, 2021. 6:38 a.m. I have never been much for sleeping in. I've been an early riser since I can remember. Some people can't understand why I get up so early on the weekends, but it's simple. Caffeine. I like waking up early with hot coffee. Feeling the caffeine stimulate me is one of life's simplest pleasures. 11:07 a.m. When I arrived at the gym this morning, there was a sign stating, "A female attendant is in the male locker room." This was true. She was in there cleaning and didn't bat an eye at my presence. While I was changing, she just carried on cleaning. Neither one of us said a word. We now have a history, and it will never be mentioned. 1:49 p.m. I am always delighted whenever I encounter a pissed off and stressed out parent yelling at their snotty, poorly behaved spawn in public. The bigger the scene, the more enjoyment I get. There is no shortage of these encounters, and it's just further affirmation that not having children was the right call. April 26, 2021. 7:24 a.m. I can tell I did not get enough rest last night because it affects my mood. I've already had several imaginary arguments in my head this morning. I can tell people are going to annoy me today. 8:15 a.m. I try to be an empathetic person most of the time, but certain types of people I have no patience for. For example, people who bury themselves in garbage. I just saw a guy who was literally packed full of trash all the way to the roof of his vehicle. He only had enough room to sit in the driver's seat, but just barely. I've watched the program Hoarders, and I understand it's a psychological condition, so I should have a little more empathy. But I don't for this. Maybe this is callous, but burying yourself in garbage needs to be something you just get over. 1:48 p.m. Never judge a book by its cover. That is good conventional wisdom and rule of thumb. Unless the cover has a face tattoo, then judgment seems more reasonable. 4:17 p.m. Sometimes I encounter certain types of people out in the world and I think to myself, my God, how do they even dress themselves in the morning? I firmly believe it is not the meek, but the dumb that will inherit the earth. 7:09 p.m. I finally finished installing my door I've been struggling with for the past few weeks. It isn't perfect, but it will do. I've often said being a homeowner is the most overrated thing ever. It's nothing but an endless chore. I've owned a home for close to 15 years now, and ironically, the older I get, the less compelled I am to continue. Renting might not make the most financial sense, but at least I won't have to worry about the next thing that will inevitably break. April 27th, 2021. 7:24 a.m. For the second day in a row, I am not feeling my best self. Intermittent sleep is plaguing me, and working in customer service is not ideal when you're prone to bad moods and attitudes occasionally. Faking being nice to people is exhausting. 10:22 a.m. I saw a fat couple kissing while I was pumping gas, and it led me to wonder what it looks like when they have sex. I then wondered why I thought that, and felt ashamed for a short period. 12:02 p.m. As far as I am aware, I know 3 guys named Gene. 2 are really great guys. The other is a total bozo. 2:28 p.m. 2 blonde women began laughing when I walked into a lobby to pick up some tooling. I looked bewildered, and one of them assured me they were not laughing at me. But since I am insecure and paranoid, I'm convinced they were, and now I'm irrationally mad. 7:13 p.m. I'm impressed with how committed I am about keeping this diary. It's funny the things I commit to. My hobbies, my addictions, my dog. People, not so much. April 28th, 2021. 7:42 a.m. One of my biggest phobias are public bathrooms. Because I'm on the move all the time, I have no choice but to use them. A cold toilet seat is unpleasant. A warm toilet seat is unbearable. Every time I sit on a warm toilet seat, my mind conjures up the worst case scenario. Usually a fat guy, furry ass, and likely not a fan of bathing. 10 o'clock a.m. I am having a decidedly good hair day today. I only feel comfortable writing this in my diary, which is also public. But telling anyone directly might result in mockery or ridicule, so I won't. 10:37 a.m. I've discovered a small hole in my underwear. It's completely inconsequential or noticeable to anyone other than myself, and yet I'm dwelling on it, and it's giving me anxiety for some reason. 12:04 p.m. The conventional wisdom is, men think about sex every 7 seconds or some absurd number like that, which is silly and completely untrue. In fact, I could actually go days without thinking of sex, or at least hours. No, the real problem is once men do start thinking about it, they can't stop. Recently I stopped at a grocery store and I crossed paths with a fetching blonde woman perusing the produce. She was wearing a loose-fitting top, bent over slightly, and I caught a glimpse of her bra. It was yellow. It's now in the front of my mind and I can't stop thinking about it. I wonder if this happens to women also. 8:53 p.m. Sometimes I wonder how people get into certain activities, like pole vaulting or methamphetamine. April 29th, 2021. 7:50 a.m. I just ate a bagel that had sesame seeds on it. Now my coat, my pants, and my seat also have sesame seeds on it. 9:32 a.m. I was just flipped off by a man driving a white pickup truck. At a busy 2-way stop, he missed his opportunity and failed to take his turn. This caused lengthy backup of vehicles. So when the next opportunity presented itself, I took my turn. This irritated him. After he flipped me off, I returned the sentiment, but since I was headed in a different direction by then, he didn't notice. In my opinion, it was the most unjustified fuck you that's been directed at me in a long time. I wonder if he is still angry while I write this. 11:36 a.m. I just drank a Bai Bubbles beverage I bought from a Quick Trip. It was supposed to be grapefruit flavor, but ended up tasting a lot more like pickles for some reason. Will not purchase again. 3:51 p.m. I just got a whiff of a young man wearing way too much cologne. This is an indicator of one of 2 things. He doesn't shower regularly or doesn't know how to apply cologne. Either reason indicates a lack of maturity or self-awareness. 4:01 p.m. I just realized I dislike the word whiff. 8:44 p.m. On Reddit, I came across a link entitled Lesbian Threesome. For scientific reasons, I decided to click and investigate that claim. It was basically a clip of three perfectly tanned, blonde-haired porn stars having sex in some kind of complicated triangle configuration. It looked completely unnatural and entirely uncomfortable. April 30th, 2021, 6:33 a.m. Today's the last day of April. I'm surprised with how fast it went by. I'm also surprised with how fast the last 30 years went by. 8:50 a.m. On Friday mornings, I usually make an effort to visit my mother and have coffee with her. I enjoy these visits immensely, primarily because we both have comparable levels of grumpiness. 11:50 a.m. I bought a bottle of Febreze and realized it is nothing more than furniture cologne. 12:25 p.m. I've been noticing weight gain and that I'm not in the best shape recently. I believe this is due to a variety of factors: stress, hectic work schedule, and my newfound fondness for pasta salads. 5:31 p.m. Today I met with an old friend I haven't seen in many months. We met at a trail and went for a hike. It was nice catching up and talking. We also made out in the parking lot for a short period of time, which was also nice. I should make it clear this friend is female. 9:06 p.m. At some point tonight, Murphy puked in my bedroom. He's been eating a lot of grass recently, so I've been anticipating this. But by the time I found it, he had re-eaten most of it. I couldn't help but think how counterproductive that seemed. And so it concludes.